You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series that syndicates for the A-List Online. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and the interview subject I have coming up for you is Jamison from the Canadian outfit Arrival of Autumn. The reason for the conversation is to promote the band's brand new album, which was released on the 29th of March 2019. It is called Harbinger. If you want to check out the band, I believe they've got a pretty good Facebook page, and if you want to check me out, go to my Facebook page, which is, of course, Scars and Guitars, and I also put a heap of content up on the alistonline.net. Here we go. Hello, mate. How's the Aussie phoners been treating you?
What's that?
The Aussie phoners, the phoner grind, I call them, mate. You know, the phone calls with the Australian media contingent, mate. Are we treating you well? Are we giving you a good? Are we having some good conversations with you?
Honestly, you're my first call from down under. So.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
There you go.
And I didn't know I'd be having the pleasure of speaking to someone from the Southern Hemisphere today. So that's awesome.
Oh, sweet. Okay, rightio. Well, mate, I'm going to have to impress it. The pressure's on. The pressure's right on it, isn't it?
Hell yeah, I'll take it.
Cool, mate. Well, look, to start with, congratulations on this album, Harbinger. Okay. You know, I get a lot of new releases. I don't know how many new releases I get a week, but it'd be over 10. So you can imagine what that multiplies out over a year. And one of the most commanding things that I feel about the album, okay, yes, I feel it's metalcore imbued with heavy lashings of death metal, but one of the things that I've been talking to a lot of bands, particularly bands that are starting out with, is make sure it sounds good. And yours is probably the best sounding album that I've heard all year. And that's a massive compliment as far as I'm concerned, because, I mean, look, a lot of people can't afford Dr. Dre's Beats headphones, and most of us listen to music through iPhone speakers and really shitty cast or stereo system, you know, that sort of thing. And I can tell you, mate, it even sounds good through an Apple MacBook Air speakers, and that's some accomplishment. So well done for all of that.
God damn, thanks, man. That means a lot, yeah.
Yeah, well, you clearly worked very hard on it. Okay, that's what I can hear too. It's not one of those things where you've sort of cobbled it together and you got great songs, sure, but the oral quality, it's just so important these days, mate. It actually is the extra band member, the sound. It really is. We joke about these things with producers and managers and all the rest of it, but as far as the fans are concerned, they don't know about any of the stuff that happens behind the scenes. All they know is what they're listening to. And, yeah, man, so the way it sounds, however you've done it, man, just keep doing it.
God damn, yeah. Great to hear, man. We definitely will. And, yeah, like, I mean, even, you know, vocally I wanted to put in as much as I could, and, like, the guitar players spent, like, a week with Jay trying out different amps, cab combos, pickup combos, different, like, in the guitars, and different guitar setups, and they worked so hard getting that tone. It was crazy.
Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it, mate. And I'm a bass player, right? So it's probably the first death metal / metalcore release that I've heard in years where I can really properly hear the bass guitar.
Nice, yeah. You know, especially on tracks like End of Existence, he's got that just soaring riff during the verses, and it's just so good. Yeah.
Yeah. I love a lot of old school bands. I'm in my 40s, okay, so one of the greatest death metal, one of the greatest bass players ever. Forget about in death metal is Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse. But guess what? You can never bloody hear him, and I've never understood that with those guys. You know, this is not a criticism. It sounds like it will be, but it's not meant to come across that way. I don't understand how they got one of the greatest bass players in rock and roll, and he's inaudible except for when you go and watch them live. And even then, when you watch them live, you've got to be standing in certain positions. So I'm sure he sounds fabulous on stage. But yeah, it's important to me as a bass guitarist that the bass does have some oral clarity in the mix, and also too has some interesting lines to play, which your bassist clearly does.
Yeah, super creative guy. All of us have our little, sparks of creativity that we've added to the album, and Kevin, our bass player, is just fantastic.
Yeah, so who would you describe as the band's collective influences then? Because I've already alluded to the fact that I think it's a bit of a cross between a metalcore and a deathcore release. So would you agree with that classification? And can you talk a little bit more about who you've been inspired by?
Yeah, that's basically what I've been telling people is we're like if the Black Dahlia Murder and Bullet for My Valentine had a baby.
Yeah.
Guitar players are definitely heavily influenced by bands like Death, and I myself heavily influenced by Metallica even, so like the thrashier side of that old school stuff. And truly, I mean, yeah, Bullet, Killswitch Engage, Trivium, All That Remains, you know, in the early mid 2000s, that was life changing for myself and a couple other guys in the band. So we definitely wanted to keep the melodic big choruses, but still be able to just, you know, melt your face with our thrashy sections as well.
You mentioned Trivium in there. Did you you got into them in the mid 2000s from what you're saying there? And which of their albums did you enter? Did you, if you like? So did you get into them through the Crusade or Ascendancy, or where did you start with those guys?
I was actually a little late to the game with Trivium. It was in waves. What was that, 2012?
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. About then. Yeah, 11 or 12.
Yeah. No, I was. For me, it was definitely more Bullet for My Valentine and The Fall of Ideals. All That Remains. Amazing record.
Yes, yeah. No, it's interesting. Just to go back to the Trivium thing. So, my own view is that they haven't released what I considered a solid album since Shogun, and I thought they were going to take the metal world by storm, but they just stopped. And you know, as I say, my own take is that their stuff did they didn't build on the success, if you like, that they created around Shogun, and I got in waves, and it just sounded too straight ahead for my tastes, if you like. Whereas there was always a searing progressive element to their stuff, a bit like you've mentioned Death in there already, a bit like the way Death could never be just, you know, smack bang categorized as a death metal band. There's always lots of other things going on there, but I just sort of feel as though Matt and the guys, probably due to the fact that they had issues with drummers, maybe. I've often postulated that might have been the case with those guys, that drummers are so important, as I'm sure you will agree. If you've got consistency in the behind you there on the drums, mate, you tend to produce more consistent albums, I've found.
Yeah, I mean, that drummer thing for them. I mean, I think they've got their guy now. He slayed it on the new album, which I think is their best album since Shogun, I would say.
Okay. Yep.
Definitely enjoyed their new one. And yeah, you know, a couple bumps in the road, and the drummer thing is definitely, it's been a thing for them. But no, I think they're really, they're one push away from the top, I think, right now. The numbers don't lie, and those guys are killing it.
Wow, okay, yep. Yeah. Have you got access to some of the sounds? It's not SoundScan, is it? The tour data and all the rest of it. Have you? Do you guys get that as bands? You know, to tell you guys where you're at traveling compared to the rest of the bands?
No, not so much. But I mean, I guess I've just kind of kept a finger on the pulse of their career for a few years now, and you know, you could see, now they're supporting bands like Five Finger, Asking Alexandria. That was like 2013-14.
Yeah.
When Vengeance Falls didn't do so good, and then now they are selling out headliners across North America for 2 months straight, and their record is still being talked about over a year after its release. So I think they made the right choice, and really they found their real
they're back on track
final sound, I think. They're totally back on track. They know how much heavy they need to deliver in order to interest their entire fan base.
Yep. Good observations, mate. Now, just back to you guys. One of the curious things I noticed was, I'm so glad that you've got a partnership there with Nuclear Blast, because, you know, you've got that global reach. Of course, you're talking to me down here in Australia, and you're in the far north there in Canada, I believe. And but I actually thought the label that you guys would be appropriate for with those guys was Sharptone, one of their subsidiaries. So was there any conversations about you guys joining Sharptone instead of just going to the parent company?
Honestly, no, that wasn't really brought up at all. When we got contacted, it was directly from Monty Connor. and he is running Nuclear Blast Entertainment, which is the U.S. division. So it just kind of happened the way it did, and we didn't think twice about it. We were like, damn, this is beyond anything we ever thought we would achieve. So let's go for it.
Yeah. I think it's quite an accomplishment, mate. I say this, I was talking to the fella from Enforcer, Olaf, a couple of nights ago, and mate, just to have a career playing heavy metal, it's like a 1 in a million shot, isn't it? And then to be associated with such a wonderful label like Nuclear Blast, man, it's probably 1 in 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many bands strive for it, and you've done it.
Yeah, we definitely, you know, when we were discussing it when it was going down, we were like relating it to winning the lottery, and but still remembering the years of work that we've put into this band already, and being ready for the opportunity when it was presented to us. So yeah, it was just crazy, but we were ready for it, and the timing is perfect, I feel.
I know, that's a really interesting point you just raised there. You know, a lot of people think from the outside, they might think a band like yourselves, oh, you know, you're just lucky, you know, you got a development deal or whatever. It's all bullshit. You know, you guys were together, you had everything in order, so when someone like Monty or representatives from a serious record company like Nuclear Blast approach, you're like, yeah, we're good to go. We're ready to go right now, actually. And people don't understand that who hang around on the periphery, I think, of the music industry. It's interesting for us down here in Australia because John, who set up the phone call for us, John is actually the guy at the centre of Nuclear Blast Australia. So there's a division that's just been launched down here. So, mate, I imagine he's just going to be absolutely punished with a lot of aspiring musicians and artists that go, come on, sign me. But, man, you know, they've got to have their shit together like what Arrival of Autumn have got their shit together. You know, and be ready to go, ready to go on tour and support it and also be able to get along as band members too.
Yeah, it's a really rare situation just in that. I mean, me and the guys have been friends all our, like from teenage to where we are in adulthood now, like for over a decade with a couple of us. We've been friends playing music, and yeah, at this point now, being in career mode with it, it's like the bond has never been stronger, and we're feeling like, a real team ready to go.
What about Australia? Have you had much interaction with fans from down here over social media?
Not personally, no. I maybe I came across a comment, but no, still very new to the entire scene down there.
The whole thing, yeah. Well, we'll work to change that, because if it's okay with you, man, I'm going to release this as part of my podcast series.
Oh, for sure.
So the ironic thing for me, mate, is that most of my audience, when I say most, the country where most of my listeners come from, almost half, is the United States. So hopefully we can make a bit of a difference for you over there as well through the conversation.
Awesome, yeah.
What about touring? Have management, and have you guys got ideals on a fairly lengthy tour to support this album?
Yeah, we're pretty much buttoning up a really nice run for the end of summer here.
Okay, and you're going North America or just Canada?
North America.
Sweet. Who are you going out with?
I can't say anything like that right now.
All right, okay, super secret. Yeah, no, good. Yep.
And then hopefully hitting Europe within the next year as well.
Oh yeah, you guys should be all over the festivals over there. Surely you've got some festival bookings. I know you probably can't talk about them, but have you got your eye on some festivals over there?
I mean, there's the big ones that I've wanted to play my whole life, like Download and what is it, Sonic Boom, and then yeah, I would love to do the festival circuit there. I'd love to do the, I'd like to get into the bar scene of all these amazing European cities that, I've been hearing about and seeing, and it's time to go do it, I want to get into like the real metal scene of these cities, I think
awesome.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey, one fella, I've just thought of it. One fella to maybe look up is a member of the band Sink the Ship, but Colton Ullery. They had a really good album out last year, actually, and it's different to what you guys do. It's a bit more melodic. I think pundits online call it easy core. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. But you probably know better than I do what it means. But if you ever, they're on Sharp Tone, so the subsidiary to Nuclear Blast. If ever there's an opportunity for you guys to chat, mate, do so, because I think you guys will find you have a lot in common musically, and it might be a good musical partnership for a tour.
Oh, nice. Sink the ship.
Sink the ship, yeah. I mean, they're they're stable mates, effectively, of you guys. But I think I like, especially with new bands, I think it's really important to put on a really good package tour that gives you a lot of exposure, like broader exposure, if you like. So the two fan bases come together, and I think you'd find that musically you guys have got a lot in common. I'm a big fan too of introducing, say, older bands like Fifth Angel, who are on Nuclear Blast, with a younger band like you guys there too, because it's, there's all of these legacy tour packages, if you like, where all the bands that have been around for sort of 30 and 40 years get together, but I think it should be mixed up a bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's like the Slayer tour has been keeping Lamb of God and Behemoth on for like the entire time, and it's like, wow, this is really sick. But like, they were on the tour last time you came to Edmonton, for example. Like, why didn't you switch it up? I love seeing Lamb of God and Behemoth, but like, there's a lot of bands.
Oh, there's heaps of bands. Yeah, there's heaps of bands out there. Yeah, I know. I noticed that actually. Down here, we had they just played down here actually, Slayer, and they had Behemoth and Anthrax. Anthrax were the,
that's pretty good. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I've seen Anthrax a few times, so I didn't, and Slayer a few times as well. So I didn't actually go and see the Farewell tour. Just for economy's sake, to be honest with you, more so than anything, because I've got kids and it's so hard for me to get out these days.
Oh, for sure.
So, but mate, I better let you get to the next one. There's heaps of questions I'd love to ask you, but such is the nature of the phone calls, mate. You've no doubt got somebody else calling through soon. So, mate, like I said in the introduction, I really hope you guys, succeed here with this one here, because it's a tremendous release. Harbinger, and I've watched your YouTube videos too that Nuclear Blast has set up. You're articulate guys, man, and just good luck with everything, and I really hope everything works out.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll be down there soon enough, I think, and we'll keep the metal alive.
Absolutely, brother. No worries.
Awesome.
All right, mate. Take it easy. Thanks for the chat.
Yeah, good chatting, man. You have a good one.
No worries, mate. Okay, catch ya.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series that syndicates for the A-List Online. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that interview subject was Jamison Friesen from the Canadian outfit Arrival of Autumn. Thank you so much for listening.